Hello and welcome. This is Life and Ministry. My name is Sene. Like we said, we are gonna undertake a journey to get to hear stories of men and how God has helped them. Some of these stories will challenge your faith. Some of these stories will help you build up on that which you left hanging. Like the Bible says, arise and strengthen that part of you in God that is remaining. And we believe in this journey, we are going to inspire hope. We're going to build faith and also challenge you to push into God. I figured probably I should tell mine too. I was born in the villages of Gusiland. And the journey has not been so glamorous to get to where I am today. Being born in a family that did not have any spiritual foundation concerning God, all we understood was it is Saturday, we must go to church. And we didn't know why even we were in church, because we were told this is the church your family goes to, and so we went. But gradually, as I joined my primary school, God was pushing some things in my heart, though I did not understand them. At around class 5, 6, we begin a ministry in school. We called the ministry Happy Soldiers. And later, after analyzing it, that we were singing special, in all those special functions in school, we were being asked by the school to prepare a number. It did not make sense then, because it seemed to me something was fun to do. I was passionate. I didn't understand it. Ministry was more than passion. It was to be a commitment. And I joined high school. I joined a school that is of a Catholic foundation. And now there is no opportunity for me to sing like I was singing in my primary school. So I have to adapt to the culture of the Catholic Church. And because I loved every place that there was a spiritual foundation, so I decided that I'm going to join the young Christian students. That is YCS. In that high school, people were choosing leaders. I was elected a leader, a non-Catholic student who's a leader. Later and gradually, from the parish to the diocese, I was being volunteered to be a leader in spiritual matters. Still, I wasn't understanding what was going on. The journey continued until I joined college. In my first month of college, I have a tendency of being an early person. And so I could get to school very early before the lectures begin, and I will sit in one of the lecture rooms. But all I could hear were people singing very early in the morning. I ignored it because, again, it felt like I was in between. I was just there. But a month later, there's this conviction that kept pushing me. So I decided, why not? I mean, it's not very hard. And so I joined the CU, the Christian Union, at Nairobi Institute of Business Studies. I didn't realize everything I was saying was being taken note of. A few months later, I was part of the leadership of the school. So it becomes hard when you have a call and things are happening and you have no idea what was happening. And it seems to me that so long as I did not know who I was, it was just fine. And so issues began to happen when I was in college. I did not have the opportunity to even finish college because, again, my dad felt he no longer wanted to be called a father. by some of us, and so we begin to experience rejection. Then he dropped from paying our school fees. It became very tough. I was supposed to be a great journalist. That is what was in my heart, because I wanted to tell stories. So I dropped out of college. I tried to get some things to do so that I couldn't pay my school fees. But at the end of the day, things didn't work, and so life became hard. I purposed that I'm going back to my village, and probably something will happen in the village. I didn't know how that was convincing to me then, because as per now, if you tell me, it's either I make it or I make it. So one particular evening, I remember, I meet this man of God. He had written in his things to do that he was looking for a missions coordinator. And that particular day, he asked me what I can do, and I told him the things that I've been doing. Remember, after high school, I did a few missions here and there with another man of God, a friend of mine, who we are still friends up to date, because he's an amazing man of God. So I tell him I can be able to fix the issue of mission management and planning of your events. And so, in short, that is how my journey to the village, back to the village, was cut short. And the journey ended there, me giving up and going back to the village, because now education was not working. But I didn't know that hitting the corner is the place where God could begin to work something out for His glory. And so I began to mission everywhere. I was in Migori, I was in Mombasa, I was in Kisumu, I was in Kisii, I was in Busia, Kakamega, I was in TZ, doing missions and winning souls. The great lessons, the very great lessons that I learned. At one time, I was given some money, and I was told to print some few t-shirts. I went, I printed the t-shirts, and of course the guy who was printing for me told me you can come for them in the evening. And so I went away to do my own stuff. Then I finished, I came back with the t-shirts. He gave me the t-shirts, but they were very heavy. So I called these guys who push luggage in town. And so I tell him, this is where I'm going, please push for me so that we get there. But as we got away from the building, then the rains come. For those who understand the city, they know how these matatus drive in the city. It's crazy. And because it was raining and the matatu is coming, we separated just for a minute. And that minute that we separated with the guy who was pushing my luggage, that is the last time I saw the guy. So here I have lost t-shirts that were worth 30,000, ministry money. So I pick up my phone and I call, after running around in town like a crazy madman. I tried to call the pastor just to explain that, I have lost the t-shirts. And the man of God was easy. He told me, you can come. We will talk in the evening, because he was somewhere preaching. Later in the evening, I was chased away from ministry. And that thing broke my heart. I didn't have any other place to go to. So I walked from Fedha. For those who know Embakasi, I walked from Fedha all the way to Umoja. A friend of mine gave me a place to lay my head for a few months. So I got bitter in my heart. I got bitter in my heart because I felt I was mistreated. And it is not something that I understood then. And I prayed to God to forgive my emotions. Because when you understand the things of God, and then there are better ways to handle stuff. But I'm not saying all this to shame anyone. I'm just saying this so that you know it has not been a walk in the park. So I was chased away from ministry. When I was leaving that house that night, I only had 50 shillings in my pocket. For those who know Embakasi, they know the insecurity that is in between Fedha and Umoja 3. But God is faithful. So later my heart got healed and I continued with my journey. I understood that sometimes lessons have to be learned by whatever means. Let me share with you something that I failed in this scenario. I failed because I got bitter. So as I grow now, I have learned even those ones that torment you, in some way they are still being measured to refine you. So the unwise thing to do when people make pain out of you is for you to get bitter. It will help if you saw God working in that thing. Maybe I share another incident. We went to Arusha. A man of God, also a friend of ours in Arusha. He does amazing evangelism. If you look at my hand, there is a mark. I was stitched. My hand was stitched, if I can remember well, almost 9 times. What was I doing? Sikuwa nimeenda kujirusha. I was in the field working and pushing the agenda of the kingdom. But as we were offloading a generator from the lorry, my hand got stuck in between the generator and the metal at the place where people board the lorry. The generator had a weight of 500 kgs. 500 kgs. For those who know weight, that is half the weight of a Nissan. But to my surprise, there is no bone that got broken. There is no vein that busted. As I went to hospital in Tanzania, the patient that was just ahead of me passed on while I was waiting for my hand to be fixed. I have seen God work in mysterious ways. I have seen God work in mysterious ways. So after my hand was stitched, I came back to Kenya and I went to hospital later to remove the stitches. This finger of mine could not fold because I was stitched wrongly in TZ. And so the nurses tell me, unless they bust out the wound and stitch it again, I could not imagine the pain of what I was going through. And to be stitched again, I told the nurse, just remove the stitches and let me be. I was serving God. And if serving God will make me lose my working finger, I just ended the conversation by saying, let me deal with God. You do your job of removing them. But today, my finger is still working. Sometimes humility is learned through pain. There are many things people have said. I have been told I was a thief when I lost those t-shirts. My parents even spoke things that I do not even want to say on camera because they broke my heart. But I forgave them. I learned my lesson. And gradually God has been building me up. After the missions field, I joined Church on the Rock. I served as an associate pastor for 3 years. But then I still was working for Truth Mentorship, part of the mission team. And right now I serve at Life Church Limuru as part of the pastoral team. It is important to learn your lessons well. I could not be told anything that matters fatherhood because I was in pain. I was in pain. But gradually my heart opened up. The people that God brings into my life, especially to walk with, I mean, if you have not gone through something in life, it is okay. But the kind of people I walk with are people who have been beaten. They have been wounded. And so if I did not see what God was doing in me, probably I could not be here today. There is no great story that does not have ups and downs. And right now, God has entrusted me with a few things and a few responsibilities. I'm able to travel and preach the gospel. I'm able to serve with one of the amazing team in Life Church Limuru. There are so many things we intend to do for the kingdom, to continue to advance, and so that we can possess kingdoms for our Lord Jesus Christ. But there is one guarantee that is in my heart for you, and this I can tell you for free. There is nothing new. If it's being rejected, we have been rejected. If it's pain, we have known pain. Some of us don't love people because we were loved. We know what rejection looks like. And so we are able to hold on and love people and still believe even this crazy one can be able to come back to the order of God. I know Jesus was a weapon in the hands of God, destroying the works of the devil. But also, I have understood that he was a weapon of mass restoration. And this is my story. This is my story, that you too may be restored back to God. So that you may know that even that which you did and you felt bad about, God is still able to use it to glorify himself in you, if only you can allow him. And for us at Life and Ministry, this is what is important to us, your story. Our handles are just right down the screen. Send us an email, you can call us up, so that we can also get to share your story. For the young ministers who are growing in the things of God, who are pursuing God with a prayer that someday God will entrust you with something greater in him, endure the process, because in the process, that is where there is formation. That is what will determine the quality of who you become. It will be bumpy sometimes. Just say that it will not be a walk in the park. But the greatest thing that can come into your heart, and let it settle now, is that God is with you and he will see you through. In fact, Exodus says that he will send an angel ahead of you to guide you along the way until you come to the place that he has prepared for you. I pray that you will understand that even that which you see that may not be working good is working for your sake. That is it from us today. I pray that I will hear your story too soon. God bless you. See you on the next episode of Life and Ministry.